Hello, peoples of the internet. So today I have Evie in the room, in and out of the room. And that's it, just me, Evie, the plants, the minerals, the beautiful blue sky, which maybe you can see in the back, and my Bowie shirt. So today I thought that I would talk about this time period that we're in. About 5 years ago, so probably around 2019, 2020, I was receiving some information in regards to this time period. And it said that for the next 5 years, until 2025, which was going to be sort of the end of this old way and the beginning of the new way. And it said what we were doing is a living death process. And so that all of the humans were going to go through a living death. And in the process, we were going to be rebirthed or reborn in a new way. And that's us exiting the slavery matrix and entering freedom and alignment to the soul and accessing the soul and soul choices, which are in alignment with ourselves and everything around us and the universe. And it said prior to that, and this is what I've seen in visions, but also in speaking with those that have crossed, that there's a process that the humans go through when they cross over. And typically when they cross over, they do a life review. And in the life review, you sort of look back at your life, like, how did I do here? Did I learn the lessons that I came here to learn? Where did I get the lessons? Where did I not get the lessons? Did I get into an alignment with my soul? Did I act from compassion? And those kinds of questions is what we do the life review on. And typically in the life review, you're not judged by the Godsource, because the Godsource collects all information, all experiences. You're judged by yourself. And so you feel, when you look at the experiences, when you go through your life review, you don't just see what you did and your choices. You also see how your choices affected the people around you, or the planet, or the animals, or the mineral kingdom. You see how your living affected this existence. And that typically can cause a lot of pain to the person watching, because it's painful to see where what we call failed, but where we didn't complete parts of our pathway. And so for me, this is what it was saying that we're going to do in living life. It said, my cat's in the room. Melody is also in the room. She was just trying to crawl my leg and distract me. So she must like the energies as well. The feline kingdom's coming in. And so a living death means that we do the life review while we're still alive. And so what that means is that while we're in a living life, we're actually going to look at our life. We're going to look at, do I like the way I'm living? Do I like the way I'm treating people? Do I like the way I'm treating myself? Am I being, kind, compassionate? Am I existing from alignment? And those places that we aren't doing it are the places that we're going to shift, change, and grow. And part of that is, am I being loving to myself? Am I being loving to my body? Because until you're loving to yourself and your body, it's really hard to be loving to someone else's self and body, because we live out of what we create within. And so most of my healings, the information that I'm sharing, is all the process of clearing the slavery matrix and clearing the old way of existing that's sort of coming in my living death process, and the shifts that I've been making to get into an alignment and into the new mode of functioning, or into the freedom matrix. And really what I'm seeing in this past year is that it's all about choices. But choices weren't the first thing to come up. The first things that were coming up were talking about this process of what we're going through in this time period, and really separating out what's ours from what's not ours, and teaching us how to love ourselves in all spaces, how to give ourselves safety in all spaces, and actually loving ourselves and loving our experiences. That's my dryer, if you can hear the beeping. Electronics. Loving ourselves is actually the greatest lesson. And if you take nothing else from everything else that I teach, loving ourselves is the most important lesson that we can learn. Because if we can learn to love ourselves, all the rest of it will come from that. And that's basically what it showed me. And so in the past, when we would die, we would do our life review, and then we would come back into another life and try to do differently, do better, get those lessons that we didn't get in the life that we had lived prior. And this time, we're not having to die and come back to do that. We're literally doing it in this life. And so if you look around and you can see all this chaos and madness, and people are like, what the heck is happening? Like, this is insanity, right? Well, that's because this is the first time the humans have ever gone through a living death process. This is the first time that we've done it while in a life. And so it's really magical as well, even though it's terrifying and difficult, and, asking us to get conscious of trauma spaces that we've never been conscious of before, and actually asking ourselves to love ourselves in parts of ourselves. So that's going to be spaces where we have the most guilt, shame, trauma, unconsciousness, that's going to ask us to love ourselves in that space in order to clear those programs. And as a good portion of us begin to clear these programs and begin to bring light into the humans, for one thing, that's going to go into the collective consciousness, and then others are going to follow that pathway and also begin to heal themselves in the same way. And but also the more light that comes in here, and it's not just coming in through the humans, those of us that are making the changes, it's coming in from like the universe, our sun. It's coming from our sun, and the central sun is pumping in light and information and knowledge and wisdom from the space of universe that we're in at this time. And so it's coming from all of those things at once. We're getting a bombardment that's creating this really quick movement. And literally we're in the air with a fire horse, and time is going so fast. And I love this idea of the fire horse being a unicorn, because it's bringing in, magical lessons and blessings. And if we can see them as, not trying to collapse us and kill us, they're trying to move you. They're trying to grow you, right? And the less we can take personal the external realm, and the more we can focus on ourselves. And if you watch my last video, I was talking about how to learn to relax, and relax means to let go. How do we let go of what isn't ours? And that's really those external dynamics, because everything in this earth plane happens, and in this galaxy, I don't know about outside this galaxy, happens in dynamics. Yeah, I think it's the whole universe. Everything happens dynamically, because even the universe itself is having dynamics with us, and the Godsource itself is having dynamics with us, and the plants are having dynamics with us, and the animals are having dynamics with us, and we're having dynamics with the lightning storms. And that's another thing I was seeing a while ago, and it was like, clear the fear programs of electricity, You know, it's a natural part of nature. Clear the fear programs and take your power back even there, which means I'm safe even there. I'm whole even there. I'm not playing the games, you know. I'm just going to be in connection and communication. So, it was also showing me back then that as we do this living death process and we're no longer stuck in boxes, like we've been oppressed. So opposite of pressure, right? We've been pressed in and into these boxes and we're told exist this one way, right? And that's why people talk about the 80s and, you know, how in the 80s you knew what was happening and it was such a better world and everything else. No, it wasn't. We only had basically one timeline, maybe three available to us, and we were oppressed. We were pressed down and we were taught how to exist. And a lot of people were not in their truth. They were living how they were told to live or programmed to live. And what we're doing in the living death process is we're beginning to bust out of the box. You know, we're coming, it's like we were, if you're a flower, you were taught to be small. Just be a tiny flower. Everybody else isn't blooming. How dare you bloom? But God created you to bloom. And so you're bypassing the whole point of existing, which is the right to bloom, the right to your uniqueness, the right to be your true self, the right to be your whole self and your true self, no matter what anybody else thinks or says or believes or tries to push against you. They're going to try to oppress you and tell you that's that guilt and shame program where they're going to try to tell you, you can't be that way. Don't be that way. How dare you wear bright gold glasses? You know, how dare you cut your hair in this like David Bowie or 80s fashion? You know, how dare you wear a Bowie shirt? You know, how dare you wear bright clothes? You know, how dare you put information on the net for free? How dare you put truth on the net for free? You know, how dare you do it? I do dare. I dare because I'm in alignment with my soul and my soul wants to fully exist. This human being wants to fully exist. Right? And my soul wants to allow this human to fully exist, because when we fully exist, the Godsource gets a full flavor of the uniqueness of each living being, of each human being. And that's what we've been bypassing and neglecting. And when we're not in our wholeness, we're not creating from wholeness. And we've been creating from this little tiny, like little peephole of the rainbow. And we haven't been creating from the whole rainbow. And when people begin to become their true selves, we're going to see people start to become things that we've never seen before. We're going to see all kinds of uniquenesses. And that's why the Godsource is teaching us to not judge it. Don't waste your energy on judgment. And that's you engaging it and thinking that you need to control it because somehow it's making you uncomfortable. Well, tend to your own self and you won't be uncomfortable and then you won't care. For example, I hear a lot of these people talking about these furries, these kids that have like tails and, you know, ears. And I've talked about in my past videos that somebody was telling me about bronies, which are like pretty ponies that they're like buddies, right? Like, I don't know if they're still around, but they were around like 5 years ago and they would do these things like, hey, brony and stuff like that. And I just thought it was hilarious. If anything, I just thought it was cute. You know, and so what if people want to dress like that? So what if people want to go to work like that? So what? How does it affect you? It doesn't affect you when you're alchemizing yourself. And when we come into this future, people are going to be all kinds of things that we haven't seen yet because we've been oppressing each other, thinking that that was a good thing when it's against the Godsource. It's against the universe. You're going to do your living death and be like, oh, I never became my unique self. Oh, I always wanted to get, you know, I always wanted to wear bright blue. I always wanted to go to this place on the earth. I always wanted to start a business. I always wanted to do my poetry. I always wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to, I don't know, wear purple lipstick. I have no idea. But people always wanted to do these things and never did it. Now you're going to come back again to do it because you never did it the first time. You never gave yourself the freedom to not care what other people thought because you had the medicine inside. You have the love inside. And those kids aren't doing anything to harm anybody. If you want to get righteous about your anger, get righteous against the fucking Epstein files. You know, get righteous against those billionaires that are trafficking humans. You know, against guns, against drugs, you know. Get righteous against the things that are causing damages to the human beings. These people are over here bronying and you're hating on them? That's disgusting. That's sickness. And we need to stop it. And if we don't stop it, who will? This is my cat's tail. This is my cat. This is Melody. She's coming in to share some feline frequencies. It's a purr. So the cat's purr is a healing frequency, and she's purring like crazy right now. So she's giving me some healing because I'm getting all fired up. And maybe the cats want us to get free, because when we get free, they get free. Right? When we begin to accept our uniqueness, we begin to receive the uniqueness of the animal species and the plant species and the mineral kingdoms. And we begin to love ourselves enough to be in wholeness when we're making choices in regards to them. So these things fire me up because I work with kids like this. You know, I work with all kinds of unique kids, and some of them are afraid to go to school. Some of them are afraid to walk down the street because people are trying to oppress them. People are trying to be violent against them. They're trying to stop them from being in their truth. And it's like they're not doing anything to hurt anybody. They're just trying to live in their wholeness. The one that's bullying is the one with the issue. The one that's being cruel is the one with the issue. They're tapping the demon realm. They're tapping the snake within them. They're tapping the tiny voice that's the demon. It's the programmed self that says, how dare you be unique? How dare you live differently? How dare you be different? Don't do that. It's dangerous. Something's going to happen. So then when they look at those kids, they take out that voice on them. And then they prioritize this gangster life, the dark triangle. You know, that it's cool to beat kids up. It's cool to tape it. It's cool to make them kiss your shoes. It's cool to spit on them. These are the things we're seeing out there. And that's disgusting. You're not cool. You're disgusting. You're sick. You're traumatized and you're creating more trauma. You have the pain space of God inside of you. You have the demon realm inside of you coming through you, trying to feed off you and feed off your disconnect and feed off the pain and suffering you're causing in this world. This is the living death process. That's ready to die. That way of existing needs to die. It's gross. It's cruel. It's disconnected. It's feeding the Ouroboros of the slavery matrix. Be a slave. Look one way. We'll tell you how to be. Ew. No. Is there one flower? Is there one way to be a flower? Is there one way to be a tree? Is there one way to be a crystal? Or is there millions and billions and trillions of kinds? There's tons. It's like the snowflakes. All snowflakes are unique. All human beings are unique. All animals are unique. We're meant to be unique. And we're meant to live from our wholeness. And if you have a creative self that wants to do creative things, and people are like, yeah, but they're programmed. Somebody's telling them to be that. So at least they're trying something new. At least they're doing something new. Maybe they have to take that step until they can take the next step and the next step to find their actual truth. So as a lover of all beings, as the sacred mother, that's a hard no. We don't bully each other. We're not mean to each other. We don't get violent because someone's different. Actually, in most cases, that's a vulnerable human that probably needs more love. They don't need less love. They need more love. And they're probably tapping their own love, but they also have a right to safety. They have a right to exist in their truth. They have a right to safely exist. We all have a right to safely exist. Religion does this too. And I heard recently that, Ireland that had two religions that were like fighting for years and years and years. Recently, the mothers came together and they said, we're not doing this anymore. We're done. These are our children, and our children deserve safety. We're not playing these games, these separation consciousness games. We're done. How do we clear those things? We clear them from our own programming. We clear them from our own selves first. We alchemize those experiences within us so that we can begin to hold loving space without. And I've had some of these programs inside of me, and I've cleared them, and I continue to clear them. And it's not my job to fix the world. It's my job to fix me. It's my job to alchemize myself, because when I alchemize my own self and I clear my own programs, then it begins to go into the collective consciousness, and others can begin to do the same. And I can hold loving space for people's changing and still say no. Sacred Mother, no. We're not doing that. That's a no. There's a yes, and that's not it. The yes would be conversations, communications, try to make sense of it. Ask them, how is this helping your life? Like, how did you get into this? I'm curious about this way of existing. This is where we begin to act like God. God is curious. This universe is curious. It's curious about its own self. It's curious about the mystery. We don't get triggered by the mystery and shut it down and shove it in the box. We get curious about it. But to do that, you have to hold loving space for your own self first. I'm safe even here. I'm whole even here. It's okay. It's all right. Everything's going to be okay. But if I'm going to use that energy out, use it for the things that matter. Use it for the violence. Use it for the bullies. Use it for the people acting from separation, right? If you want to judge something, judge that. That's at least righteous judgment. But even that, alchemize that. God alchemize that from our mind, body, spirits, and souls. That's not even our work. If I can relax even here, I'm going to collapse that out of my life and out of this existence as a totality. I'm not doing that anymore. That isn't happening in my world. We're clearing that. And if you don't get it now, you are going to get it in your death review. You're going to see it. So you might as well just do it now. And then we can live in the new world. Yes, please. That would be awesome and amazing. And if you're watching me, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, right? But I'm still going to say it because it's truth. Okay. We don't have to fear the living death. It's here to help us. It's here to help this universe. And we can't stop it. It's going to happen. In all universes, it happens. They had this quantum computer. You can look this up. There was this quantum computer that the military developed. They looked at all the timelines. And in all timelines, we get free. They couldn't find one timeline where we didn't get free. Because it's not us doing it. It's the universe doing it. And she's a lot bigger than us. It's the Mother Earth doing it. And she's a lot bigger than you. You're not controlling her. And you're not controlling this galaxy. And you're not controlling this universe. No one's controlling it. But you can flow with it. Okay. Is there anything else I need to share about the process that the humans are in at this time, about our living death? I guess I'll just say like if you, everything that dies rebirths, right? So everything that crumbles comes back. And I talked about that in my last video. The foundations are crumbling. So it's like the rock is the foundation, and it's crumbling. It's going back to sand so that it can rebuild in a brand new way. And that's what we're doing. We're having this opportunity, this once in a, I don't know what to say, not even a lifetime, it's once in thousands of lifetime opportunity, to go through this process. It's actually really exciting, right? And the more you free and the more you clear from yourself, the more exciting it becomes, because it starts to get more fun, more playful, more gentle. You start to not care so much about the external realm. And that's what the Godsource told me about Jesus. Like, Jesus didn't give no fucks. Really just didn't care about what anybody did, because he was fulfilling himself all the time. He was loving himself into wholeness all the time. He was connected to the Godsource and fulfilling his own existence, and then just following his path and not giving a care about what everybody else did, because it was really none of his business and he just didn't care. So twice now I've seen a shadow while I'm doing this video, which is very intriguing. So I was just asking, is it benevolent? And yes, it is benevolent. So I don't know what it is, but there is a being that's intrigued in this video. We'll see if we see anything in the video. If you notice anything, let me know. So again, being, same thing. You can just ask, is it benevolent or is it malevolent? And then you'll know. And that was a benevolent being. And typically that doesn't surprise me, because I don't give permissions for malevolent beings to be anywhere in my heart space. Benevolent being is, sometimes they're just curious, they're watching, sometimes it's an ancestor, sometimes it's an angel, or an elemental. This one's a being of light, is what it's telling me. It's a being of light. So, may it bless our video. So, I'm just going to do a clearing on that. I'm going to do a clearing on the living death process so that people aren't afraid. We want to take our power back from that, because we're already inside of it. You can't undo it. You can't get away from it. It's going to happen. It's already happening. The chaos that we're seeing around us is part of the mountain collapsing, right? And the mountain needs to collapse so that we can rebuild, right? It's part of people collapsing old modes of functioning and old ways of existing, and people that don't know what the F they're doing are scrambling, right? So they're going deeper into their darkness, or their darkness is showing up, it's being pushed out of them and it's getting more obvious. So that's really important, that those of us that can step back and collapse it and don't take part in it and just tell the Godsource, no, heck no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that, and I'm not tending to it because it's not my business, it's not my work, but I can share. I can share information, knowledge, and wisdom. I can share healing codes, and that's what I'm doing today. So, Source God Mother, I acknowledge and accept everything that I'm speaking of so far today, and I clear, cleanse, and heal those wound spaces from humans, and from humanity, and from our ancestors and our ancestral lineages. I clear, cleanse, and heal the bullying program it's been taught to us to oppress each other, and I don't want to take part in that. It's stupid. No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to free myself and love myself into wholeness and give myself safety. And I'm going to radically allow myself to be a unique being. And I'm going to radically allow others to be unique beings. And as long as no one's being harmed, because, the baseline of this existence is do unto others as you'd have done unto you. So as long as there's no harm being done to the self or other, then it's nobody's business. It's an exploration that person's going through, and they can go through their own explorations. It helps them to get where they're trying to get to. It helps them to discover who they truly are. It helps them to discover how they want to exist. And that's their stuff, not yours. And we can step back from that, and we can alchemize that from our mind, body, spirits, and souls. We can clear those programs, modes of functioning, ways of existing, trigger points, mindsets, toxic dynamics within, toxic dynamics without. And we clear all fear programs around difference. We clear fear programs around uniqueness, around vulnerability, around something that you don't understand. And that's the thing in the past, that the humans were taught to attack what they didn't understand. And that was a way to use the humans to oppress and to cause more violence and more pain space of God. And we don't want to do that. That's insanity. That's stupidity. A lot of those beings, those vulnerable beings, are extremely creative. It's a way to shut down creation. And the Godsource is creation. So you're shutting down God. And you're going to pay a price for that. You're going to pay karma for that. It's against the Godsource. It's separation consciousness. It comes from the demon realm. It's demon teachings. It comes from the original pain space of God. It comes from the shadow space. And we're not doing that. We're not taking part in that. God, please help us to clear that from ourselves. If we've done that, first and foremost, I radically forgive myself, and from our ancestral lineages through space and time. How do we clear that? We clear it by loving ourselves into wholeness, giving ourselves safety. And we clear it by alchemizing that space. We clear it by stepping back into ourselves and recognizing this has nothing to do with me. This isn't mine. If I don't want to live that way, cool to you. Don't live that way. But don't judge someone else. Don't put an oppression on someone else. It's not your job. It's between them and God, right? It's God's job. You're getting in the way of God, right? Let God help them, right? Help them to exist in their wholeness, you know? Your job is to exist in your wholeness. Your job is to make your own flower sparkle. Okay? And if it's not right for you, that's okay. But you don't have to judge it or be mean or be cruel or talk bad about it behind people's backs, or, make yourself better by jumping off someone else. That's narcissistic. That's a personality disorder. That's separated. It's gross. Don't do it. And God, please clear that from our mind, body, spirits, and souls. Please also clear our fears of the deathing process. Recognizing that death leads to birth. It's a cycle. We're coming to the end of a 27,500 year cycle, and we're clearing an old mode of functioning that's worn out. We've done everything under the sun in that way of existing. The Godsource had all the experiences at once, and we're not doing it anymore. We're done. And we're being moved out of it. And God, please help me to move out of it, because you can't see on this side, but on the other side, when you clear this from your mind, body, spirit, and soul, when you clear this slavery matrix from our mode of functioning, you're going to see, wow, I had no idea we could exist in so much beauty and so much fun and playfulness and innocence and purity and joy and happiness. And oh, wow, look at these creations. They're magnificent. Like, wow, look how healthy everything's getting. And I just want to mention too, when I mention health, a lot of people are telling me about body issues in this time period. And this is, again, it's about us learning to love our bodies. It's about us learning to listen to our bodies. Our bodies are trying to clear themselves out so that we can hold the level of light that's coming in at this time period, the level of light that we're pushing through our own centers of self, through our own heart centers, our own higher selves, our own center points of references, our internal sun, our healing centers. We're pushing massive amounts of light through us, and we're learning to open up the hands and feet and channel that energy out of us, like circulate it through us and into our external realm, and internal and external and internal. We're circulating inside the body and outside the body in our egg, in our aura, so that we become a fully alive, living, churning. Like when movement creates electricity, it creates life force, right? It creates that that rejuvenation. And yes, God, please help us to remember that. And please clear all of that, those frozen pain spaces, ways of existing, mindsets. And for those of you that have been attacked, those of you that have been oppressed, our job is to free ourselves. Our job is to clear those frozen pain spaces, clear those modes of functioning, clear those programs. We don't want to get stuck in victim state, because victim state stagnates. We need to alchemize. We need to be our own savior. We need to alchemize this and free ourselves and learn what doesn't belong to us and step back and know that you have a right to do it, and that you're not going to be scared to live from your truth. Because if you're scared, you're going to create a dynamic in the other where they're going to attack because you're scared. I'm not doing that anymore. I alchemize that too. I'm not playing that game. Those are old games of the Savory Matrix. Those are stagnation games. Those are games that keep us stuck in small. And I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. And I clear all the cellular and energetic structures, because the Godsource was saying this is skin. So it's like what's coming from the external realm can affect the skin. So all the layers of the skin, it's like, they say you have to have thick skin or let it roll off your skin and things like that. They're talking about what's coming in from the external realm, other people's stuff. But once you take it inside of you, and then if you personalize it and you say, oh, it's just because I'm a loser, nobody likes me, I'm never going to have a good life and things like that, you're the creator of your own existence. And if you start saying that inside, you push those traumas into your bones. You push those traumas into your guts, into your bones, into your lungs, wherever you have sensitive places, into your musculature, into your connective tissues, right? Into your water, anywhere your water systems are. You're putting a program in your water. But we don't have to do that. We can clear that. We can neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize it. We can clear the waters. We can clear the ability to flow. And we can say their shit has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to let their shit affect me. I'm going to take back my power, and I'm going to clear this. God, keep me safe. Allow me to be in my truth. I'm not even going to give it a shit. I'm not even going to notice it anymore, because it's not mine. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to play into their program where they want me to take it on so that I shift myself. I don't have to do that, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to free myself. And I'm going to love myself deeply in those spaces. I'm going to give myself the love. I don't have to wait for the love out there. I don't have to wait for them to say it's okay for me to be who I am. I don't have to wait for them to say I belong. I don't have to wait for shit out there. I'm not waiting anymore. That's the long cut. Waiting for that, it's never going to come. I can just give it to myself right now. I can just stimulate it in my own self right now. I have the medicine within. I have the Godsource within. I have infinite love inside of me, and I choose to give it to myself in all of these spaces. Recognizing that we're rebirthing from love first, not from fear first. That's the old way. We're rebirthing from love first, love of our own self first, so that we become loving in the external realm. And God, please help us all with this and collapse all programs and timelines where, we have to learn terrible lessons that we're done learning karmically as a human species. That karma comes from many lifetimes before us, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it in my body, and I'm not doing it outside my body. That's a heck no. And I collapse all of that through all quantum fields of existence, past the DNA and RNA and into the God space of first creation, collapsing the old DNA and RNA back to dust, and initiating the new and reconfiguring for each unique blueprint. We clear, cleanse, and heal all drama, karma, trauma, blow out the dharma, neutralize, purify, cleanse, and heal from the cellular, energetic, and magnetic structures, and from the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious minds, pulling all of that through to oneness, to wholeness, to peace, to truth, to love. Welcoming those helper frequencies and those helper beings into these spaces to continue to help us to access these places and to exist from these places and to utilize this strength, this power, this will, this life force, this alignment, which is a position in our body. Please help me to access that position in my body, which is deep down in the belly. Because as soon as I'm accessing that, as soon as I said that, I can feel my Buddha belly. I can feel my belly relax and my blood flow, my body flow, my life force flow. Yes, please. And for me this morning, I remembered dancing. Start dancing, Lisa. I've already gotten the message, start eating healthy. I've been eating much healthier for the last 3 to 5 years. All of us are going to get it one way or another. If you don't get it, by their guidance, the gentle guidance, you're going to get it by the more difficult lessons. And it's all for your growth and for your expansion. And so food is one thing that's changing big. And exercise is another one. So what is a way to get your body moving? Your body needs to move. And for me, I love dancing, and I don't care who sees me dance around. I love dancing. It's good for my body. It helps to move the lymph system. It helps me to repair, right? It helps me to love my body and give my body the right to move about. Like, bodies are born to move. Like, let's move this, right? Let's move it. I love it. So Source God Mother, clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now, including through the children and up through the ancestral webs, past lifetimes in their webs, and for the collective universal who are open to it at this time, including all planetary systems and on all sides of the veil. We quantum forgive these old modes of functioning, these old ways of existing, these old ways of being a human or being in a human, in this universe, in the multiverses. We quantum forgive that these were programs, these were patterns, these were record players that didn't belong to us. This belonged to the teachings of the slavery matrix, and we were stagnated in that. It doesn't have to be part of who we are today. We are creative beings, we are creator beings, and I get to choose how I create this being, and I get to choose how I create my external world and my external environment, and I'm going to create beauty. I'm going to take a lesson from that unicorn, that fire horse unicorn, and I'm going to create from all parts of the rainbow. I'm going to create all kinds of magic, all kinds of potential. Heck yeah, I am. And we purify back to the Godsource origins. We welcome the cat frequency that's here right now, and the dog frequency, and the plant frequencies, and the mineral frequencies, and the blue skies, and the sunshine, and the love of the human that's here sharing with me today, and of the soul that's coming through this human, and sharing for just the sake of love. And we purify, and we welcome those collective healed helpers, those beings of light, those doctors, healers, and nurses in all realms of existence to continue to purify and alchemize these spaces and drop us into those original blueprints, those original codes, and to continue these healings until completed. And for all people that are going through body stuff, you can also ask for the Godsource through your medicine center, through your healing center. Godsource, please help that body part. Go to the healing center. Go get what you need. The body knows what it needs. It just needs permission to access what it needs. The healing codes, the knowledge, wisdom, the essences. Go get what you need, buddy. I hear you. Let go of the old programs, let go of the fear programs, let go of the woundedness, let go of the toxic patriarchy and the slavery matrix, let go of the pain and the suffering, let go. I give you permission to let go. And we give so much gratitude and thankfulness to the helper beings and helper frequencies that are here with us, helping us, guiding us, loving us, nurturing us, holding loving space for us, coming into the room and watching us or blessing us, hopefully. We give so much gratitude for all of you. We know you're here with us, helping us, guiding us, loving us. Thank you. We appreciate you. Please continue to help us. We're tiny humans with tiny brains, in tiny beings, like a speck of sand in this giant universe. And all the help that we can get, we appreciate it. But we're creator beings. We're magical. How do you want to create? I want to create from goodness. I want to create from compassion. I want to create from love. Because that's how I be like this universe. That's how I be like God, right? That's how I love all aspects of God back into its own wholeness. Yeah, I want that. Please help us with that. And I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields. And I'm opening to receive for best and highest well-being. With love and gratitude, I choose this. So I don't know if one of you are asking the question, but I'm getting a question in my head. So it's saying like, if you have a kid that's doing these things, that's sort of doing this gangster mentality, that's being rude and cruel and mean, how do you stop it? Well, is there a lesson so you don't stop it? But what you do is you love yourself into wholeness. You regulate your own self, and then you access your own truth and your own safety. And then from that space, you listen to your own creativity, and your creativity will tell you what to say. For me, it's holding gentle, loving space, and it's being like, I see what's happening. I see what you're doing. I know you think that's cool. I know that kids your age are telling you that's cool, or you're seeing a parent that's living a life like that and think it's cool, but it's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's cruel. It's mean. It's inappropriate. You're going to pay a price for the things you're doing. You're building up karma. Harm begets more harm, right? It tells me you have pain inside. Let's clear the pain. Let's hold loving space for the pain. Let's get you involved with something that's going to bring you joy and happiness. What feeds your soul? Let's find the thing that's feeding your soul, so you're not distracting with the darkness and getting power off the darkness instead of from the light flowing through you. It's about loving yourself into wholeness first, so that you can hold loving space for the child, but also say no. No, it's not okay. What you're doing is not okay. It's not cool. No. It's not in the best and highest well-being of you or the universe. It's a misalignment. It's a false feed. And it's going to create more emptiness. And I know you don't want to be empty. Let's find ways to fill you up in good ways. Let's find true nourishment. And Source God Mother, please clear all of that through all mind, body, spirits, and souls, and clear those pain spaces so that they can access their truth and their creativity and get creative in the now. So I'm just going to do so I choose this, and then I'm just going to clear our energetic spaces. So Source God Mother, please immediately evolute our systems for best and highest well-being, the systems within us and the systems around us, including those frequencies of our feet. Immediately upgrade those frequencies of our feet so that as we ground down to our feet, so that's a code. Please ground me to my feet. If you don't know what to do, please ground me to my feet. I love myself even here. I'm safe even here. Those are codes that will pull you directly into yourself, and it'll begin to access your center of self or your love of self that will help you to access your creativity. If you don't know what to do, you're struggling, or your anxiety, or you're feeling, the chaos, or there's so much going on around you, and you're feeling you're involving yourself in it. Watch my last video if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Ground yourself in your feet. Give yourself safety. Give yourself love. Say, I have a right to regulate even here. Those are codes. Those codes begin to work immediately because they were given to me by the Godsource, and I've already I've practiced them and put them into the collective consciousness. Use the codes, and you'll see yourself already begin to shift. And Source God Mother, please also root us from our root chakras all the way down our hips, our genitals, our legs, our knees, our ankles, our feet, and 2 feet below us into our Earth star or our universal star. Root this body into this universe, because we're all one, and I have a right to be seen by the universe, by nature. I have a right to shine this light. I have a right to share and exchange life force frequency, healing codes, knowledge, wisdom, and please fractalize those healings through my mind, body, spirit, and soul. And open me to the connections and communications with my own body first. With my mind, who am I going to listen to? I'm going to listen to the shadow or the light. Am I going to listen to the demon realm, the snake, the pain space of God that's saying, be mean, shut them down, ew, disgusting, like they're vulnerable, hurt them more? Or am I going to listen to the light that's saying, alchemize it inside your own self first? It's not even yours. So they're discovering who they are. It's not hurting anybody. Who cares? Let it go. It's not yours. Don't waste your energy on that. Go home and put energy into cooking a meal or dancing or feeding your flowers or petting your cat or petting your dog, watering your plants, you know? Put energy into talking to your children, loving your children, playing games with your children, playing some cards, you know, going for a walk together. Put some energy into picking up some garbage on your walk. That would be amazing, right? Put energy into things that matter. Do you want it to matter here? Do you want it to take matter form here? Then we have to put energy into what we want to matter. Let's do it. Come on, people. We got this. Let's go, magical creators. Let's go, magical healers. Let's go to loving beings. Let's do this, right? And we clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields, and we're opening to receive for best and highest well-being. With love and gratitude, I choose this. So I choose this and breathe a good etheric breath, intending it from the ethers. Awesome. Please trigger my vagus nerve now for a little extra comfort and love. Ooh, relaxation. Yeah. Please ground me to my feet so that I'm present to my body, so that I can hear the messages of my body, so that I can love myself into wholeness first. All right. So let me know. What did you think about the video? What did you think about what I shared? What do you think about this information? Did something come up for you? Do you have experience of these things? Do you have questions? Is there something else you would like me to share about? Please leave comments, stories, ideas, visions, healing codes below in the comments. That would be awesome and amazing. Please subscribe if you like these videos and you'd like to see more. Please also subscribe and share if you want this information out there. If you think somebody could use this information, please feel free to share it. We're in a time period where we're being asked to share. Sharing is the new mode of functioning, not hoarding, but sharing. And what God tells me, don't ever be afraid of sharing, Lisa, because when you begin to share, things come back to you in the same way. The Godsource, the universe, shares with you the same way that you share. If you hoard, then it stagnates. It's a stagnation. And we're here to evolve. Movement is the common denominator. So we want to be part of movement. All right. I hope you all find the peace that you're looking for. Much love to you from me and from Evie and from Melody and the plants and the crystals. Take care till next time. Lots of love.